We are in the post-NFL season, and right now it feels like the only thing you can do is sit and wait and twiddle your fingers and wait some more. Kind of like my son the other morning, woke up way too early, sitting at the kitchen table, just starts randomly crying, asking, "Dad, when is it finally going to be spring?" And I laughed at him and I said, "Son, we got a while till spring. You got fake spring, and then false spring, and then some more snow, and then maybe eventually spring will peak out, or it'll just become summer. We're never sure." And to that, he started crying more, which obviously was an awful answer. But that's what it is. As NFL fans, as Patriots fans, the question is, when is football going to be back? I'm ready for more football. And with that, in this time of the year, we hear a ton of speculation and possibilities going into the next NFL season. And I'm going to throw some possibilities your way that, in my opinion, I think are horrid, awful, not smart moves. So let's jump into it. You guys know my name is Aaron. On the daily, pushing out Patriots content to people just like you who can't get enough Patriots football. So do me a favor, as we continue to rise the ranks, please hit that subscribe button. Give me a rating, whatever. Hit the like button, mean the world to me, and comment below. Let's jump into it. So today what we're going to be talking about, a potential huge trade by the Patriots. Again, I'm going to tell you on the forefront, I think it's ridiculous and stupid. As well, an interesting trade the Patriots, not trade, but draft trade, where they could trade down and get someone very peculiar. Don't think it's going to happen. And on the back end of the episode, some funny news on a former Patriots coach getting a new coaching job. We'll jump into that. So first and foremost, we're going to jump right into it. And a Patriots writer predicts that the Patriots could trade for Max Crosby. Now, I'm going to tell you off the bat, I'm not even going to give you the pros and cons. I'm going to tell you this is a horrendous, idiotic move. And the reason being is this, and you might be saying, "Oh my goodness, Aaron, Max Crosby would be awesome." I don't disagree. I do not disagree. I like the man's grit. I like his work ethic. I think he would. I truly think he'd be great on the Patriots. I think a lot of people see Max Crosby and they kind of think about, well, what about his character? All these different things. Listen, the man can play. I don't know the guy personally. But when it comes down to it, shoot, I guess if you like tattoos and you're worth millions of dollars, I guess it's America, do what you want. But when it comes down to it, I do not think it would be smart for the Patriots to try to trade for him. First and foremost, you are going to have to give up first round picks. And notice I said picks. You are going to have to give up a lot for Max Crosby. Now, I'm not saying he isn't going to be traded. Now, I think he is in a position now with the Raiders, with Pete Carroll, where I think he feels more comfortable probably staying there, especially under a coach who has had very successful defenses under his tenure. Good enough defenses, great defenses, where they were able to win a Super Bowl. And if you remember the one they lost, I don't remember what happened. Do you? Yes, hopefully you caught that sarcasm. Anyways, Max Crosby would be great in the Patriots, in a Patriots uniform. But it would not be a smart move when it came to the draft assets that the Patriots have. It would be much smarter if they wanted to get an edge rusher to do one of two things. One, look to free agency, which we will in just a second, or two, look to draft. Now, Abdul Carter, I think, is going to be out of the Patriots' reach, but by the grace of God, something could happen. I think I sent this in one of the comments the other day, but it is very possible that you have a situation where Cam Ward is drafted. After Cam Ward is drafted, the Browns select Travis Hunter, and then somehow, some way, the Giants really fumble their third overall pick, and instead of taking Carter, they end up taking Shedeur Sanders. That would drop Abdul Carter right into our laps, and in my opinion, at that point, that would be a no-brainer. Almost every single analyst has Abdul Carter as the highest rated player, blue chip player in this draft, next to Travis Hunter. It would be a smart move for the Patriots. Now, I think if Myles Garrett gets traded, that is the Browns, if the Titans don't take Abdul Carter, then what would happen is the Browns, obviously needing to replace Myles Garrett, would get Abdul Carter. But that's beside the point. You get him on a rookie contract. That would be ideal. You're not giving up any assets. You're not trying to get rid of draft capital to get that as well. There are a lot of great edge rushers that I think the Patriots could nab a great one at their early second round pick. Again, that's what I think more and more will happen. We'll see as that it gets closer to that. So we can all be in agreement. Maybe you disagree. Comment below. Would you like the Patriots to draft or trade for Max Crosby? Again, I believe he's getting paid in the mid $20 million range. So again, you're taking on that. Do they have the cap space? Yes. But the question is, how much would you have to give up to get Max Crosby? Again, I think it is going to be a lot, not worth it. So, and what's funny is even this guy said it's so easy to say like, okay, yeah, that they're going to make a move on him, but they don't give any cadence to what they would have to give up. Again, yes, it's easy to throw out these names and say, oh, DK Metcalf, they should go trade for him. Yay, hooray, sweet. But listen, what would you have to give up to get someone like DK Metcalf or Max Crosby? You're going to have to give up a lot. So moving forward, and I think Max Crosby, you're giving up more than a DK Metcalf. I personally think that the Seahawks look at Smith and Jigba and they see, hey, this guy we feel is surpassing DK Metcalf. And so maybe they'd be willing to give up DK Metcalf for less. But again, Max Crosby, I think especially teams that need these extra pieces, especially after you watch the Super Bowl. The Eagles' 4-man rush was absolutely insane. So you know for a fact defensive linemen, edge rushers are going to be at a premium if you're going to trade for them. They're going to say, look at the Super Bowl. Look at what the Eagles did. They put that much pressure on with 0 blitzes and just their defensive line. Absurd. So, stuff like this, ridiculous in my opinion. Comment below. Again, I want to preface, I would love Max Crosby, but not for the dollar amount that they would have to pay and what we would have to get up to get him. Now, again, we're jumping into edge rushers that are going to be free agents. Khalil Mack, we've talked about before. I do not see him coming to the Patriots. He wants to go somewhere where he can contend. He could win a Super Bowl. Don't be surprised if he tries to go somewhere like the Bills, like the Lions. Now, granted, the Chargers did make the playoffs, but I think that the teams like the Bills, like the Lions, possibly even a team like the Commanders, heck, who knows? He might take a pay cut and try to get on a team like the Eagles or shoot, even the Kansas City Chiefs. You never know. I think the man wants to win a Super Bowl. He is a Hall of Famer, and he wants a ring. I don't blame him. Josh Sweat, I like. Again, these are all, again, when we talk about free agency and trading, you're going to have to give up a lot more, and then you're going to still be paying that player a ton, where if you pick someone up in free agency, literally all you're doing, obviously they're an unrestricted free agent, but when you get someone out of free agency, you're not giving up draft capital. You're not trading even more just to get that person. You are just picking this person up, and they're taking money off your overall cap space. Hassan Reddick. Now, I want to throw some interesting ones out your way because I do like some of these guys I'm passing, but here's one. Chase Young, I really like. Chase Young, I think he still has a lot left in the tank, and I would love to see him in a Patriots jersey, and I think you could get him at a great price. As well, we keep going down. Dante Fowler, where was it at? Shoot. This one, here it is. Sorry. There's a lot. As the weeks go on, we'll be talking about a lot of these different free agents that I passed, but this was the one I want to talk about, Matthew Judon. Now, I don't see him reuniting with the Patriots, but how funny, again, in retrospect to look, the Patriots won, in my opinion, won that. Getting that 3rd-round pick from the Falcons, and now he goes into free agency. What did he do for the Falcons? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So when it comes down to it, the Patriots could do the funniest thing and sign him to a year-long contract for next to nothing, and literally still be on the winning end. Now, granted, do I see that happening? Not necessarily, but Mike Vrabel could potentially look at an edge rusher like Matthew Judon and say, listen, I'd be willing to take a chance on him if he can come in and not try to pull that shenanigans he pulled with Gerard Mayo. But again, I think that's far-fetched. I don't see that happening. Uche, he's going to be a free agent out of Kansas City. You trade him, you turn around, sign him again. I don't necessarily think so. Derek Barnett, listen, he was a high motor guy. I think that, as it says here, his snap count has shrunk. And so he would be interesting to take on. But again, of all these guys, I really like Chase Young. I think Chase Young you could get for a good dollar amount and still leaving a good amount of room for cap space. And I think a lot of that cap space we need to be looking into, again, the offensive line. Offensive line, we have talked about, is the top priority. Now, again, if they can go out and get a top-end rusher for a good trade, or an edge rusher, sure. But again, I doubt that with someone like Max Crosby, and I doubt that going into the new NFL season, watching the last game being watched being the Super Bowl, and seeing again the dominant performance by the Philadelphia Eagles defensive line. I think people understand what they have in an edge rusher, what they have in a defensive lineman, and being willing to say, listen, you have, if you want this person, it's going to be for a premium. It's not going to be cheap. So again, comment below, tell me what you think. This also reorients me to thinking about that 4th overall pick and more looking at someone like Mason Graham. And one of these days we will do a video breaking down Mason Graham, but for his size, he can absolutely move at 320 pounds. He is honestly the size of a defensive tackle, but with the ability and speed of an edge rusher. If you watch his video, if you've watched him at Michigan, again, if you've watched his channel, I'm a Michigan State fan. I'm not a fan of Michigan at all. Not a fan. But he is a phenomenal player. It would be worth getting or looking at that 4th overall pick. So again, we'll see what happens. But comment below, who would you love to see at edge? What do you think about the Max Crosby thing? Comment below, love to hear from you. As well, there's been a potential trade prediction in the NFL draft where the Patriots, I'm just going to explain, I'm not even going to show you the article because I think it's ridiculous. The Patriots trade down and with that take Ashton Gentry, sorry. I do not see that happening. Again, I think that he is great. Personally, I think he should have won the Heisman. But when you look at it, how many times have running backs been drafted in later rounds and been very successful in the NFL? It has happened a lot. Again, I think this is a running back deep draft class, and it's worth waiting and not taking a chance in the first round like this. And again, it's not a need. It's not a priority. So why would they jump in there and try to make it a priority or get someone like this? Again, Scadaboo, Mullins, Edwards, Henderson. There's a lot of running backs that I think could make a big potential, and you could get at a great price depending on where you drafted them later in the draft. So though it'd be cool, I think he's also going to get drafted higher than a lot of people think. We'll see. I've seen a lot of things to the Cowgirls. Last but not least, Ohio State hires former New England Patriots coach Matt Patricia, him and the pencil behind the ear. When it comes down to it, every Michigan fan I've talked to about this has laughed and said, perfect. I think one of two things happen. First, I think that Matt Patricia is on his revenge tour, trying to prove everyone wrong after the massive debacle he caused going to Detroit, then leaving and doing a billion different things for the Patriots. I think he's on his revenge tour trying to cement his legacy as a coach. I think he wants to go in to Ohio State. I want to be successful, maybe jump to another coordinator position in the NFL, potentially, I don't know, try to pull a Bill Belichick and be a head coach in the college ranks. Good luck at Ohio State. It'll be interesting. Wild to see that Ryan Day and Ohio State, they are throwing money everywhere. And seeing that, having Chip Kelly, who was the offensive coordinator, former NFL coach, Matt Patricia, former NFL coach, who is now the defensive coordinator. It is crazy what they're doing over in Ohio State and the amount of money they're spending. They're spending like it's going out of style. Like it goes in their pocket and it leaves their pocket. It's quick. But anyways, that's beside the point. Matt Patricia, best of luck at Ohio State. Comment below anything that maybe you want to talk about that we've talked about today, whether that's Matt Crosby, whether that's other free agent edge rushers. Maybe, hey, what was your thought of the Philadelphia Eagles defensive line and how the NFL, you're going to see a lot of teams probably jump on that train of a dominant defensive line and really prioritize that come this offseason. I think, again, you will see that a lot, especially after that dominant performance. But regardless, comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Again, my name's Aaron. Hit the subscribe button on your way out. Hit the like. You guys rock. We'll talk later. Peace.